Hey everybody, Questwise here. I'm here at the office tonight, a little after hours, doing some work, catching up on some stuff. And I just watched Bill from Roll Stats channel and his video on the Pathfinder 2.0 playtest and the launch of Pathfinder 2.0. And he was asking about people's opinions and their thoughts on Pathfinder in the second edition that's coming out soon. It's been announced. And I was going to weigh in on his comments like he asked, but I felt like there was a little bit too much to say, at least in my opinion, on my part. And so I thought I'd do a video response to him, and that's what this is going to be here. So I've played every edition of D&D. I started with second edition, but then I went back and played original and first edition with a bunch of friends throughout college and high school and stuff. Second edition is my edition. That's where I started, and that's where I had the most exposure. I remember jumping into third edition when it first came out. In fact, my very first trip to Gen Con was the year after 3.0 came out. And everything was converted to 3.0. Everything, all the events that were there were 3.0. And I played in a lot of 3.0 games. I was very excited about it. My friend Wes that I went with, he was very excited about it. We played in a lot of games together. It's all we talked about the whole weekend was D&D 3.0. And then a few years later, they came out with D&D 3.5. And then when they announced they were going to D&D 4th, that's when Pathfinder sort of started up. Became D&D 3.5. I played Pathfinder. I don't own a lot of the books. I own the core book and a few other things. But I got kind of tired of 3.0. I played it from the moment it started until the moment it left. And it just, for me personally, it got too crunchy. There was too much stuff going on. And I'm a very narrative player. If you've watched my other videos, you know that I'm very big on narrative and storytelling and myth making and that kind of stuff. And so I like a more of a narrative game. And I felt that 3.0, 3.5 Pathfinder just got to be too much. Sure, now you can rein in any game and make any game narratively, but every time you would put together a group, it became, at least for me, became very power gamey and who can make the most powerful character. And so I was happy when 4th came out. And I appreciate what D&D 4th edition was. I understand the marketing behind it and the design philosophy behind it. I understand that. That was a time when World of Warcraft was really, really huge, and WotC was trying to bring in those people. They were trying to bring the people who were playing World of Warcraft and all these other MMOs back to the tabletop. And that's exactly what they did. They made it basically a tabletop RPG version of those types of games. And I appreciated it for what it was. It was very much a miniatures-centric game. At the time, I was playing a lot of miniature games, which I've kind of gotten out of as over the last couple of years. But at the time, when 4th came out, I was playing a lot of stuff. Like, I was playing some World War II historical stuff. I was playing Warhammer 40K, Warhammer Fantasy. I was involved in a lot of different miniature games at the time. So to be able to share D&D 4th edition, it was easy for me to kind of rally on some of my friends who were also miniature gamers as well. So I appreciated it for what it was, and I bought a bunch of that stuff. Was it my favorite edition? No, it definitely wasn't. And again, like I said, I prefer a very narrative game, and I felt like that was I call it the plug and play version of D&D. That's how I always refer to 4th edition. So then I decided to play a lot of Pathfinder at that point too. When 5th edition came out, I felt like it returned me back, partially at least, to my roots in my second edition days, and so I was very excited. And currently, 5th edition is my favorite edition. Bill over at Roll Stats was asking too if we thought that there was time for a second edition of Pathfinder. Sure, absolutely. I think it definitely is. Pathfinder's been around for 10 years. They've got so many products on the board. I feel like, definitely, there's always, 10 years is always kind of a long stretch, especially with that many products, to try to keep up with, rules changes and errata and all the other, books that you've put out, to make the core book still fall in line with all those as well. Do I think the timing is unfortunate? Sure. I mean, Bill probably knows better than this, than I do. I'm a bookseller, not a marketing person. Um, but Bill, I think, over at Roll Stats, probably way better at answering that question than I did. And I think he did. If you want to check out his video on the Pathfinder 2.0 playtest, he goes into that idea of, it's unfortunate that they sort of are doing this now because they're losing their market shares to WotC and 5th edition. What I think WotC's doing is fantastic. I think the community outreach, I think drawing in celebrity or semi-celebrity people who have always been fans of the game and using them as kind of figureheads is brilliant. I think that being very open with the 5th edition playtest, having it be completely free and letting everybody kind of play in on that, I think that was brilliant as well too. I love watching Greg Tito's history. Every week he does a video about D&D news over the past week and stuff. I've watched a lot of the actual play stuff. I watch Mike Merle's Happy Fun Hour. There's a lot of great videos. So I think what they're doing, being very open and being very public about everything they're doing, is fantastic. And I think that's very brilliant. And I think that they're really, playing to their fan base and making it feel like it's more of a community than it is just a company that you play their games. I feel like that's making it much more like accessible and makes it feel more like you're involved in the whole process and you're involved in the company, that you're a friend of those people. I despise the idea that Pathfinder is going to be if you want a printed physical copy of the playtest, it's going to be, they're going to charge you for that. It's not something new. Fantasy Flight Games did the same thing with their Star Wars playtests. I just think that's silly. I think it's I don't know, paying for a playtest just really, really bothers me. If you want to keep the playtest numbers under wraps, I think that it's a better way to have people just sign up and you pick people based upon their experience or what you're looking for as a playtest group. But if not, don't charge people for the playtest. I think that's horrible. If they want a printed copy, give them a PDF for free, let them print it out themselves. That's what Wizards of the Coast did. I remember I had a friend print off the entire big giant playtest for me for 5th edition, and it came in, it was a 3-ring binder, and it was a giant manuscript. But I did it myself. I paid for it. I had him print it off for me at the local college, and I just paid him for it. Don't sell playtest copies. I think that's crap. But that's my own personal opinion. I didn't like it when FFG did it with their Star Wars stuff, and I don't like it the fact that Pathfinder's doing that as well. I think Paizo's got I think they have a great game. I think they have a game that stands a really good test of time. I still feel that Pathfinder is part of the D&D family. I know there's this huge schism now in the thing, but to me, Pathfinder is still, at its core, D&D 3.0. And so I still consider Pathfinder part of the D&D family. I always consider it part of my D&D experience over time, and so I don't really differentiate between the two very, very much. What else? 5th edition is definitely my favorite edition so far. Again, this is all my own personal opinion. I hate arguing with people about edition wars and stuff, because what it really boils down to is you're finding a game that you really, really enjoy and finding other people who enjoy that game too, and then sharing in that with them. I don't like dissing upon other people's hobbies. If there's people out there who love Pathfinder, play Pathfinder. There are tons of other people who love Pathfinder as well. If you don't like 5th edition, don't bash on it. There's tons of people who like the 5th edition. And so I hate the arguments between that kind of stuff. It drives me crazy. I'm all about trying to find a game that you really enjoy, and a game that really brings you enjoyment and happiness and an escape from reality for a little bit, and playing that game. But all in all, that's my video response to Bill over there at Roll Stats. If you have any comments, please leave them down in the comments below, or if you want to do a video response to this one as well too, I'd love to talk to you with you more about how you feel about Pathfinder 2.0. I'm with Bill. I think I probably will pick up the game when it comes out completely. I might look at the free PDF. I'm not a big fan of PDFs either, but that's just me. I don't like reading on the screen, but it's because I'm a bookseller, and so I kind of prefer paper. I'm biased that way. But I probably will pick up Pathfinder 2.0. I picked up Starfinder. It's a cool game for what it is. Again, Pathfinder is a little bit too crunchy for me, and that's kind of the reason why I left D&D 3.0, 3.5, and was really happy when 5th edition came out as well too. So thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you make some video responses. Love to hear back from you and stuff as well too. But I'm Questwise, and until next time, we're out.